In this lessons episode, learn how to unlock your brain's full potential using the C.O.D.E method. Learn how cheetahs, owls, dolphins, and elephants represent distinct cognitive styles that drive learning, leadership, and decision-making. Learn why personalized brain performance is the next frontier beyond personality tests, and learn how to use your brain animal type to improve memory, communication, and results in work and life. I do want to the other acronym, and by the way, acronyms are very useful. So don't ever apologize for dropping endless acronyms, because it does help people remember. But the acronym that I think will be useful is C.O.D.E. So I want to understand that acronym and what it means.
This is this is a big one. Okay, so we recently updated Limitless. And because Limitless, the first version came out in April 2020, right at the start of the pandemic. And, it was an interesting time for me to launch a book, right? I had 34 speaking engagements. Every single one of them was canceled. I had in-person podcasts to do. Every single one canceled. National media canceled. Book tour canceled. So it was just like, what happened?
Fun time.
So I'll talk about, and but we were very fortunate. The book, swept the New York Times and Wall Street Journal and all the bestseller lists. And I was happy about it because it was also, a big philanthropy effort for us in terms of when donating the proceeds. That being said, we recently updated the book, and people ask why. And I tell them for two reasons. Number one, the world has changed. Being post-pandemic, people working, getting their brain online from working from home or remote or some kind of hybrid. AI, is really, has become more used and everything. So there's a whole chapter on how to use AI to enhance your HI, your human intelligence. And I show you how to take the principles in Limitless and apply it into AI programs to get faster, smarter. AI for me is not artificial intelligence. More practically, it's augmented intelligence. It's like a partner, creative partner that you could take all the principles here and, have it give you reviews and tests and everything else like that. But the thing that caught on the most was this assessment that we've used for years with our private coaching clients. And for the first time, we made it available to the public, for free. So people could take this assessment at mybrainanimal.com. It only takes 4 minutes, and it's multiple choice. Just pick the answer that resonates with you. And here's this is the power in it. After 33 years of teaching this, and by the way, going back to age, I'm in my 50s. The good thing about what I teach is everything is measurable. You can measure focus, you can measure reading speed, you can measure reading comprehension. I could test myself, names, faces, the speed, counting cards, all that stuff, right? And so I'm faster and better in every single category across the board. So it's just, we could get older, because I'm also fearful of, brain aging challenges, having, my grandmother going through what she went through. But there's so many things you can do to stave off. Just like people could do amazing things, as they age with their bodies, as long as they do the right things at the right times. But that being said, I think the thing that really is a game changer, that's worth the price of the book alone, but you get it for free. You could just take the assessment. You know how there's personalized medicine, Scott, based on an assessment? Like someone takes a genetic test, like you were mentioning, or a DNA test, and then it gives them protocols, to be able to help you based on your genetics assessment. Just there's personalized nutrition based on a microbiome test or a stool sample, or you could personalize the nutrition or the foods for you. We created a personalized learning or personalized performance assessment. So it identifies your brain type. And we've identified 4 major brain types. And it took me years to put this together. I pulled from personality tests like Myers-Briggs, introvert, extrovert, left brain, right brain, learning styles, multiple intelligence theory, and we create this assessment. And what it does, and this is the reward everyone gets for this, it informs your behavior, because all assessments and data should help you make better decisions, right? And there's a quote in Limitless that's probably the most highlighted quote. It's not from me, it's from a French philosopher that says, life is the letter C between the letters B and D. And I have this on the wall. Life is C between B and D, where B stands for birth, D stands for death, life C, choice. That our lives are the sum total of all the choices we've made up to this point, right? What are we going to study? Where are we going to live? Who are we going to spend time with? What are we going to eat? What are we going to do for a career? All that stuff, right? What do we feed our minds? And I believe these difficult times, they could distract you. These difficult times, they could diminish you. Or these difficult times, they could develop you. We always decide. Because if you're listening to this still, I bet you're a thermostat and you're not a thermometer. Like one of the ways we learn faster is using analogies or metaphors. We compare something that we don't understand yet to something we understand, right? And so a thermometer, you think about the function of a thermometer, it only reacts to the environment. That's 100% its job. It just reacts to whatever the environment's given, the temperature, right? But a thermostat doesn't do that, right? The thermostat gauges, it knows what's going on. So you as an entrepreneur can know what's going on in your market, in the world and everything. But it does something different, right? It sets a temperature, and what happens in the environment reacts to it, right? To you. And as entrepreneurs, I mean, that's really the name of the game, taking the invisible and making it visible, right? And it's not that so much you'll believe it when you see it. It's been my observation, it's the opposite. You'll start seeing it when you start believing it. But we set that internal temperature in our minds, goals, dreams, visions, KPIs, whatever it is, right? And then we make it like we see it. And some people have this vision in their mind, like you may have with your business, or with SaaS or with your podcast or whatever. People might not see it yet, but that would be a strength of a dolphin. So here are the four brain types. Code is the brain code. So the C stands for cheetahs, and I'll give you. And this is going to help not only help you read faster, improve your memory, but you can use this to hire, to train, to get angel investors, to do sales, to parent also. So a cheetah's dominant trait, and you'll get this all in a report because I'm going to give you personalized as free for listening to the podcast, how to speed read, improve your memory based on your brain type. Because I realize this is the biggest lesson I've learned, Scott, over the past few decades. It's not how smart you are, it's how are you smart. It's not how smart you are, it's how are you smart. It's not how smart your partner is, your significant other, your kids. It's how are they smart. And we all have genius, but it just comes in different forms. So if you're a cheetah, your dominant trait is action. Because what do cheetahs do? They go fast, right? They implement. These are your implementers. These are people that thrive in fast-paced environments. They have strong intuition and they adjust accordingly, right? The O in code are your owls. And your owls, as you think about an owl, very logical. So their dominant trait is logic. So they make decisions different than a cheetah. They buy different than a cheetah, right? They even read differently than a cheetah would read. Where a cheetah would go skimming and scanning because speed, an owl is going through the detail and looking up those references, right? And I'll show you how that applies. But an owl is very logical. They love facts, they love figures, they love data. The D in code are your dolphins. And your dolphins, a lot of entrepreneurs fall in the area of dolphins. Dolphins, their dominant trait is they're visionaries. They have strong creative imagination. They're great pattern recognizers, right? Sometimes they could see something like Disney, who would be a dolphin. Disney would actually take prospective employees out to this orange grove and to say, this is where the Magic Kingdom is going to be, this is where Tomorrowland's going to be, this is where Adventureland. And if for those who couldn't see it, he wouldn't hire them because he was looking for dreamers, right? But that's what a dolphin is. And then in E, finally, there are your elephants, and your elephant's dominant trait is empathy. These are your people, these are people that have strong interpersonal skills. They have strong levels of empathy, so they're very compassionate. These are individuals that want people to feel seen. They want them to feel heard, right? And so how do you use this as an entrepreneur? Or just as a human that just wants to be better in all these things? I'll give you a couple of ways. First of all, we had our entire team take this assessment, and when we put it online, and we found some interesting things, and we didn't intentionally hire for them this way, but our customer service team is 100% of them. What animal would you guess they are out of all of
Empathetic
them?
elephants.
Yeah, they're 100%.
Yeah.
They're all elephants. And we didn't hire for them that way, but people will go to their strengths, right? They want to be in their element. And so where they're most powerful and purposeful. So 100% of their elephants are elephants because they're our community builders, right? They want people to feel seen and understood and heard and supported, right? So those elephants. My business partner of 20 years almost, she's our CEO. She's a dolphin. she has this vision of 1 billion brains that we're impacting, right? And so she holds that constant. Our CFO is the owl. Every day we have to report all the numbers, and he just needs that data. So it's interesting, like you could hire for different roles, and then, it's interesting also to parent, when your kids are certain animals, you treat them differently and you would sell differently. So like if somebody is an owl, that's where you give them the case studies. That's where you show them the research, right? The data to back it up. But if somebody is a dolphin, like, and you're selling to that dolphin, you show them how their vision of their life, how your product or service fits into their future vision or of their life and what's most important to them. If you're selling to an elephant, yes, case studies and social proof is good, and having the vision's all good, but what's most important is that relationship itself. They want to feel that they could trust you. They want to, feel that you understand them. They feel seen above anything else. And those elephants would do business with people who might not be, have the best product or service, but they're trustworthy, right? And you see this in pop culture too. Like if you watch Friends, right? Like if you take Joey is your cheetah. Yeah. Doesn't think ever, just does, right? No filter, just does and acts, right? Ross was a scientist professor. He's your owl, right? Everything is about very factual. You have Phoebe, the artist, musician, who's your creative dolphin. And you have Monica, who had to host everything, host all the parties, had to be at her apartment. She's the community builder or the elephant. But you could do this for Star Trek Next Generation. Jean-Luc Picard is that owl. Will Riker is that cheetah. Data is that owl. Counselor Deanna Troi is that elephant. It's just everywhere. And so when people go to My Brain Animal, they could take 4-minute assessment, and then we give you strategies. Because again, people like a dolphin, when they're reading, they're going to visualize more what they read.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this valuable, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you want to dive deeper into this conversation, check out the links in the description to watch the full episode. See you in the next one.